AskReddit. Teachers of Reddit, what was your how are my students this dumb moment? Are mermaids real? Followed shortly by I don't believe in dinosaurs. She was 16. I asked my students to write a sentence and give an example. One of the students, aged 12 or 13, asked what's an example. Actually really hard to explain. Don't know if this counts, but I was a TA for a semester in grad school. Never again. One student submitted this paper I will never forget. Basically, the author was wrong because the student found the argument boring. In explaining the author's argument, he got most points wrong and then proceeded to say he had a better argument. His argument was the author's argument. I teach swimming lessons and lifeguarding courses. During one, I was trying to teach them CPR, and instead of showing them first, I told them to show me what they already knew about it. I then proceeded to observe 15, 16 to 20-year-olds do the weirdest shit to those poor training dolls. My favorite though was the kid who did a 2-foot jump onto the chest of the dummy. The dummy slid out from under his feet like a cartoon banana and he landed on his rear end on the pool deck. Good times. College instructor, you would be shocked. Just last year, multiple students can't save Word docs as PDFs. Students take smartphone pictures of every single slide while I lecture, even though I upload them to our LMS. Personal favorite, when asked to insert a picture into a Word document, one student prints the Word doc, prints the picture, puts the picture on the Word doc, takes a smartphone picture and uploads the file. Miss my millennial students. I wouldn't call him dumb, but I did stop and stare at him thinking it was a joke. When I was student teaching last year, one of my students made a comment about the 52 states. I corrected him and said there are 50 states, and he asked me if I remembered to count both Washingtons, as in Washington and Washington, D.C. George Clooney was the first president, right? 10th grader. Coach, I was a bowl coach as well for a high school. RBO teacher was talking about menstrual cycles. What is that? 9th grade female. Coach, I walked into the weirdest women's restroom. There were toilets with no stalls. I couldn't figure out how to pee in them. You walked into the men's bathroom. Those were urinals you saw. Oh. How to men pee in them. Same 9th grade female. What is Vladimir Lenin's first name? 8th grader. I replied Joseph. Does a male octopus have 8 testicles? 9th grade boy in history class. One of my 6th graders had a brain fart moment. Couldn't remember the word for suspenders. Called them farmer straps, complete with hooking his thumbs through his imaginary suspenders and moving his hands up and down like an old guy wearing suspenders might do, and I laughed so hard I cried and almost fell out of my damn chair. Edit, hot damn. Thanks for popping my gold cherry. I'm an English teacher and coach of the boys cross country team at my school. One of my runners showed up to a meet wearing a suit and tie, as well as slacks, even though I specifically told all the runners to wear their singlets and race shoes not only the day before, but in an email earlier that morning, and right before they all got on the buses, I said last call, if anyone needs to get their singlet and race shoes, go grab them now. Kids sometimes. Not a teacher, but was helping my friend who's a TA go over some first year essays. It was an essay about video games, and aside from the format being non-existent, one of the first sentences was something along the lines of there are many examples of video games, such as the Wii and PS4 and Zelda. Unfortunately, she wasn't allowed to grade any papers below 50%. He got a 50%. A classmate of mine in elementary school had this exchange with our teacher. What's the answer to this multiple choice question with 3 choices? A. No. C. No. I don't know. I'm not a teacher, but I work in a school. Every semester at least one class comes into my computer lab to take a test on the computer. The teacher reminds them all that no sites other than the test page are allowed. There's always one kid who pulls up Google the first time he doesn't know an answer. It's like clockwork. Edit. Forgot to add we have software to see computer screens and the students are told this. This is a classmate of mine. During English, she asked if she had to spell her name in English. I live in Belgium. During biology, we watched a documentary about the ocean. When a manta appeared, she said, "Look, that bird can dive." She said that she's a vegetarian because she only eats meat she likes. When talking about climate change, she was saying that our class is full of horrible people because we don't do that much for the climate. When we asked her what she does for the climate, she said she doesn't do anything for the climate because other people need to do that. She thinks she's the smartest girl in class. Last year I was a TA for gender studies at a reasonably well-ranked university in the US. I asked students to write a short story about how life for humans would be if we reproduced in a different way and how it would affect society. For example, we grow our babies in jars in the hospital. How would that affect society? I told them not to write anything they wouldn't want their old lady teaching teen to read. I got 4 pages of explicit spider pornography.